In a battle of youngsters, it's BYU Cougar Egor Denim, who shines above all others. The Jazz fall to the Nets 109-99. Postcast is now. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Brooklyn Nets beat the Jazz by 10. That breaks the Nets' 7-game losing streak. It also is the first game the Nets have won all year without Michael Porter Jr. The Jazz lose their 5th straight. They move to 1-13 in games which Lauri Markkanen has not played this year. But the story of the night is in a game which a lot of young players played. The Nets have the Wolf, the 27th pick, Sharif, the 26th pick, Traore, the 19th pick, Powell, the 22nd, Joman, the 8th, the Jazz playing Ace Bailey, the 5th, Walter Clayton Jr. In the pick is draft as well. Then the second-year players playing on both sides. One of the youngsters stood up above all others, and that was Egor Denim, the BYU Cougar guard. And Ron, he was the best young player on the floor tonight.
Yeah, this is his, I didn't realize that's his 34th start this year. So he looked very good. He looked comfortable. He looked confident. And he let it fly.
He had 10 rebounds, which as a big guard is awfully nice. 25 points, a career high. 4 assists tonight, but maybe the most important thing, he got off 12 threes. 6 of 12 from 3. He's been shooting 40% from 3, and that is not something he did at BYU.
Yeah, if you look at his numbers here, his season high was in minutes was 33. 9 rebounds was his high. 5 was assists was his, and he had he only had 4 tonight. But rebounds, and I think that's going to be 14 was his, 9 was his rebound. So he did something pretty good tonight.
Pretty good night. As girlfriend watching, evidently, so maybe that'll do it for you.
Yeah, it's funny how you try to impress women.
Right. They're already there to watch you. And you still try to impress them. It tells you about all of our insecurities. Right. Is really what it tells you. All right. So he was the best of the bunch of youngsters. Danny Wolf went 6 of 11 with 14 points. I don't want to overplay it. I mean, Nurkić didn't play. Lauri didn't play. I will say, with youth all over the floor, I would have liked our young players to have either matched or been up to the task tonight a little bit more than they were.
Yeah, make a better showing than what they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I thought there was a chance. I mean, it's hard to criticize. Kyle has 14 points and 12 rebounds, and Isaiah gets 10 points and 7 assists. And some of this, someone's got to do it. Bryce has 18 points. So I don't know what else I don't know what I'm asking for. Slow-paced, half-court, non-transition game. But I guess if you were to ask me who the best players on the floor were tonight, I would have liked it to be Keyonte was probably the best player on the floor, but I would have liked it to be our guys tonight. And I think a bunch of the Nets guys can leave here feeling pretty good about who they were tonight.
Yeah, and maybe the Nets are better in a half-court game. I mean, they didn't really push the basketball a lot, but they ran the offense pretty good in half-court. The Jazz, other than when Collier was on the floor, didn't run it that much there as well.
The one thing that really might be swaying these games, I'm sitting here and I'm like, Terrence Mann, Danny Wolf, Nick Claxton, Egor Denim, Nolan Traore, Day'Ron Sharp, Cam Thomas, Ben Drake, that shouldn't be beating us. To me, that's we would hope our guys can beat it. The only thing, though, that I look at this, Ron, is at least they had a complete roster. Nick Claxton played 30 minutes tonight, and Day'Ron Sharp played 18. That's 48 center minutes. Every one of their players matches a position. We had 0 center minutes available to us tonight. Kyle Filipowski played 30 of them, and then Kyle Anderson played the other 18. Those aren't centers. So maybe it's unfair to look at this game and say, well, I look at Brooklyn's roster. I don't think they should have beat our young guys, but maybe actually they at least can put out a real team that can play a real style.
They're looking at us the same way you're looking at them.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
And I thought when Filipowski was on the floor, the Jazz were a better team there as well. And even though he's playing out of position there at center, and they're asking a lot from him, he did do a pretty good job with 12 rebounds tonight and
14 points. I mean, he had some nice power moves late, and we actually outscored him when Kyle. I mean, our bench really was the problem, right? When the younger guys were when Kyle's at center, we were minus 16 tonight in those 18 minutes. So that's that's my point. I think that it's hard to evaluate this one because I think if a fan looks at this and says, like, wait, how did we lose to that roster? The way we lost that roster is we don't have a center right now. Yeah. Like, when Nurkić doesn't play, we don't have a center.
Yeah.
Which also, like, this is probably a weird thing to address on our postcast. But, like, one of the real questions is whether a team's going to come and give the Jazz an offer for Nurkić, or whether Nurk's going to want to go play for a playoff contender, or whether there's a move to be made there. I mean, one of the things the Jazz have to really decide is if they make a move with Nurk, can we play viable basketball? Yeah. Like, can we play good enough basketball for people to develop in that time period?
Well, the thing is, Nurk is a backup center right now.
Right.
And he's starting. He's starting and doing a very good job. Just think if he was playing the backup, he'd still be doing probably the same things he's doing now, except he's putting in more minutes. So I'm not so sure that they would be willing to part from him, waiting for Kessler. I mean, he's supposed to be a backup to Kessler, depending on how much money he's making, that type of thing that would cause them to want to give him a shot of coming off the bench behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kessler. The Jazz would love to have – I mean, there's two things. The Jazz would love to have Nurk next year. He's been great. Will loves him. That's up to Nurk, frankly. He's a free agent. He'll have to take a tremendous pay cut to be a backup center. It's probably what he has to take around the rest of the league. He loves it here. He loves Will. So he'll have to figure that out. The only thing is, if the Houston Rockets, who just lost, I'm making this up, but if Houston Rockets just lost Steven Adams, call the Jazz and say, hey, we'll give you our first-round draft pick in 2 years. I don't think they have next year, so I think they have to be, for Jusuf Nurkić, well, you have to say yes to that if you're the Jazz.
For the most part,
to. Yeah. I don't think you can get a first-round pick for Nurk.
And speaking to our listeners that Steven Adams just had surgery.
He's out for the year.
Yeah, out for the year.
All right, we'll talk some more about the Jazz youngsters and how they played tonight in this one, and give out some stars. I'm sure tonight has some stars as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply over at Game Time. The great thing about Game Time is when you get your tickets, you first off, you find out that you can flip that little switch and you'll know exactly the price. Then you get the zone deals that go on as well that unlock great seats at even a better value. Your prices are up front. You get the view from your seat. Browsing the app is straightforward and intuitive, so finding tickets takes very few taps. It's an NBA game, another live event, everything you want. It's all at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel wants to remind you there's one and only one Sunday football left this year. Involves the Seattle Seahawks. I just point that out. And you can be a part of that. Plus, today, you can be a part of NBA Happy Hour. So all those things happen every Friday from 6 to 7:30. There's NBA Happy Hour, and there's a special deal right now for first-time users. With FanDuel, get $20 in bonus bets. With your first $5 bet, get $200 in bonus bets at FanDuel. Make sure you get into all the action for Sunday with a big game coming up this week in the official sportsbook of the Super Bowl, FanDuel. All right, a lot of minutes for the youngsters, and I think more often than not, we had four guys on the floor. In fact, I think in every lineup all night tonight, we had at least four guys on the floor that had been in the league for 3 or fewer years. So Mikhailuk and Kyle Anderson were the only veterans that played tonight. Anything jump out to you and how the guys played?
I just thought it was a slow-playing ball game that nothing stood out. I mean, may have had one or two little small mini runs. But other than that, no, nothing really stood out. Simply putting it, nothing really stood out.
Do you think a half-court slowdown game is harder for our young players to play in right now than an open-court game?
Well, they haven't played that way all season long. I mean, look at the 99 points. I mean, right. And the number of shots they were able to get, 79 when they're averaging 91 or 92, somewhere in there. No, it wasn't something that they're used to. And yeah, that's it.
One thing that happened late in the ball game is Keyonte turned his ankle outward, so the outside of his ankle went toward the floor. There is something about certain types of turns are worse. I don't remember which way it is. I Actually, I think he turned it so that his outside of his outside of his ankle went toward the ground. Yes, the outside. Yeah,
right. That's usually the way you turn.
And he hopped off the floor, did not touch that foot back to the ground, and went to the locker room. I do not know what that means for him for the upcoming road trip, but it's probably not a great sign for availability for Keyonte. So if the Jazz have to go a little while without Keyonte, what does that mean for Isaiah Collier and some of the other guards, Walter Clayton, what they need to do to step up?
Well, the Jazz have been shuffling players around all season long. They got Kyle Anderson playing center, so someone else will have to step up and jump into that backcourt. We've been talking about Ace Bailey playing the two guard all season long, and maybe he'll be in the backcourt with Collier, coaches will have to mismatch some players out there and hope for the best.
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
It's 20-some points a ball game. They gotta,
and Lauri gets the stuff from. They both complement each other very, very well. So that would be a tough one for the Jazz to handle tonight. All right, who are your stars tonight, Ron Boone? I don't see any check marks.
I didn't put any check marks, but I know who I want to.
Okay.
Filipowski's one.
14 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists,
and I got
a steal and a block.
Keyonte and
26, 9 of 11 shooting, very efficient.
And Collier. That's it.
And Isaiah Collier, 10.7 assists tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Did have a -7. His plus-minus every night is just
so
poor, but so wonder why.
And then he had 4 of the 11 turnovers, but I thought I try to look at if players can make an impact when they're in, and I think he did that.
Jazz had a pretty good defensive night tonight, by the way. Brooklyn was a 114 offensive rating, so I think Will like the defensive numbers in this one. All right, we're going to be in Toronto, which is fabulous. I had a really funny experience. My son thinks I'm stupid for this, but I'll share it with you nonetheless. So I searched weather in Toronto, Canada, and it said 21 degrees. So I assumed, because it was Canada, that was Celsius. And I was like, wait a sec. 20 degrees is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my gosh, it's balmy in Canada. And then I realized that Google had converted it for me, and it's 21 degrees in Toronto as a high. So you're not going outside.
No, I'm not.
You might not go outside. I don't know if you've looked at the weather. There is a decent chance that you will not go outside and make me go get smoothies for you instead until Orlando.
Well, let's see. It would be.
Because Atlanta. No, it's going to be raining.
Nothing. Okay.
It's going to be raining and almost snowy our second day there.
It's going to be chilly in Florida, too, now.
60 and 70.
It's supposed to be in the 50s. Do you see how cold it was in Orlando today?
I did not have cold.
Yeah, it was cold.
What's that?
40s.
Okay, when we're there, it's a high of 60 the 2 days in Orlando. It's high of 70 the 2 days in Miami.
Can you play golf in that?
Most people, yes.
Oh, okay.
Are you taking your clubs?
No.
Only because you don't want to cart them around for the first 3 cities?
Right. I am taking golf shoes, golf balls.
So you're going to rent your clubs because you don't want to carry them for 3 cities?
We stay in bougie hotels, man. Now, the golf course in Orlando.
Yeah, we switched hotels, so we're not.
We're back at that Ritz.
I thought we were somewhere else.
Is that the one that had the father-son golf course?
No, I think we're at a different hotel.
It said Ritz.
I do not think it did. But we can argue about
at it again.
We can argue about which bougie hotel we're staying in without a camera on us. Have a good night, everyone.
I'm checking.